All right, test 1, 2, 3. All right, guys, one of the things that I want to talk to you about today is this little handy dandy cuff, okay, for your hand. I called it hand strap. We have been doing this wrong all along, and let me tell you why. So guys, I have been using this little handy thing, little cuff for quite a while, and I actually purchased it. The one that I got from probably a couple years ago. Okay, this is a cuff and it's made by Peak Design, and there are many other camera wrist straps from other camera manufacturers, but this one particularly is the one that I like, and I've been using it for quite a while. And what I realized is that when you have this little tiny thing, little anchor attached on the right hand side, and the idea is you're supposed to attach it right over here, but what happens in this case, when the camera is attached, it feels like it's fumbling right over here on your way, and you really want to experience the camera and be able to take pictures, but you can see how this little strap, it's always between your fingers, and it feels like there must be a better design. So let me tell you what this design actually should be and what marketing of most little straps like this should be. Instead of having this little anchor on the side between your fingers, it's so much better to attach it right over here to the bottom, okay? And what you can do at this point, you attach it at the bottom, you remove this one from here, and now your hands are free. And if your camera falls, it's fine. It still holds underneath, okay? That is so much better design. I'm not sure, guys, how you've been using this in the past, but I personally find that if I want to take pictures like this and my camera falls, it's normal, and it actually improves ergonomics in the camera because there's no longer nothing between your fingers and the camera body when you're actually holding. Now, because holding ZF, it's almost like holding a very large, heavy matchbox, because there's really nothing to grip to, okay? It's very tiny, especially when you attach a lens. Let's attach this one up here. Okay, the camera gets a little bit front heavy. Obviously, with holding it with just 2 fingers, it's kind of heavy. So, but when you have this little tiny attachment at the bottom, it definitely improves your ergonomics as opposed to having it something between your fingers. So guys, if you ever use this in the future, and there are so many different hand strap designs, especially it looks like more like made with leather, something ergonomically for ZF. I really like this little design here because now your hammer is just hangs like this. If it does fall, for the most part it's not the case, but improves your ergonomics much better, okay? So now your little anchor is underneath the camera, it's away from your hand, it's not between your fingers. Guys, let me know in the comments below, have you been using this strap the same way I'm using it now, or are you still using it the old way, old-fashioned way, where it's constantly between your fingers? And if you haven't done those, and if you have one of the straps, I suggest that you try. Because you will be pleasantly surprised how much more convenient this is. Now, unless you are using your plate for your tripod, but some tripod plates also have a little attachment here. So you might want to try to do that. Now, there are some other places that don't have this particular Peak Design attachment up here, like I'm showing, okay? However, many of you actually, guys, have this little tiny D-ring, okay? And it is actually very useful, and it's very solid, and you can actually use this little D-ring also at the bottom of your camera because it's a 1/4 thread. You can attach this to your camera, and you would attach your little tiny Peak Design anchor, and you just do this, okay? So now your camera is nice and well secured, and you have different options. But again, so much more convenient to have it at the bottom rather than right between your fingers, where you're supposed to use your shutter, you're supposed to be using your dials. And given with the ZF, okay, Nikon ZF, when you're using your dials, you want to have your hands free in order to be able to do this, okay? But when you have a little strap up here, a little anchor, it really adds to complexity of actually holding the camera that's already not the most ergonomically best, and therefore you want to improve your ergonomics by removing some of the obstacles between your hand and your camera. So I hope you guys found these tips and tricks interesting and entertaining. Please like and subscribe. This allows me to make more content like this for viewers like you. Thank you.